The main FNAF game animatronics were definitely inspired by a real-world franchise, Chuck E. Cheese. But what if there was a FNAF fan game that brought Chuck E. Cheese to FNAF? Hello guys, welcome to a new video. Today we will be reviewing a FNAF fan game called Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese's Rebooted. The original game, Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese's, was created around 8 years ago, around the time of FNAF 3. Creator Leon. The reboot was released around 1 year ago, in 2022. The creators, Radiant's team, are pretty much going on a rampage, rebooting every FNAF fan game from around 2015, including Five Nights at Treasure Island and Oblivious Casa. Okay, so now let's dive into the game, starting with graphics and visuals. The main screen has a very old style, sort of retro feel, like something you would get if you played a game in the late 70s, early 80s. The text also follows along with this theme, being pixelated and blocky. I think this main menu is awesome. It's just really good. It gives the shivers and everything just complements each other. 10 out of 10. Okay, on to the main office. Already this thing is beautiful. It keeps the theme of being a pizza place in the 70s. It has the original window things where the animatronics would sing and talk. Immediately you can notice the cameras, and it looks amazing. An old retro box TV, and it just looks... Next, the cameras. So let's look at the HUD first. First we see to the bottom right where we can select each camera we want to view, and to the top right it tells us what room that camera is in. And lastly, we have in our top left the date and time, which is really cool how they show us the time without having a big HUD just on your screen. Now in camera 1, we can see in the top right, it says we're in the play area. It's a little hard to see, but we can see a few things. Like there's a mini merry-go-round, and we all know how much I like those.
Mario? That gets me every time.
There's also a little helicopter ride, like one of those 25-cent rides you find at the mall. Next, camera 2, it says it's in the arcade. You know, crap, Sherlock. Oh hey, here's a room with arcade machines. I wonder what room this is in. The bathroom? Probably. Anyways, we can see some ping pong arcade machines. Wait, not even ping pong. It's just the knockoff Pong. I would totally spend money on that. And then we can assume the last two are like Pac-Man and Cubert or something. The third camera is just the area behind us, but it does look really good. And then we have the dressing room. So lastly, we have entrance. Hooray! It's still really good. I mean, this whole game looks amazing, but the only issue I have is, if it's outside, where is the moon? Like, where did it go? Did one of the employees just misplace it? I mean, there is no moonlight or just any light in general, which just seems a little weird. Now, on to animatronics. It's pretty easy to figure out who the main character is, right? I'd hope so, because in this game, it's Chucky. So let's start with his design and go down the line in order of how they get introduced into the game. So Chucky is a gray rat, obviously, but he wears a red overcoat with a yellow shirt, and a red hat with a black tie and a long cigar. I think the design is quite nice. It really looks like the original Chucky. Now there's Jasper. He's a country dog, it seems like, with a straw hat and checkered red and black shirt with a black apron thing. And there's a Banjo. I also think that this design is awesome. It's quite obvious that he's a farm dog with his design. And now for probably the scariest character that didn't move for me at all, except for the last night when he moved once. Costume. Costume, pretty much old costume version of Chucky, and instead of good looking eyes, my guy's eyes are like flipping mini kiwis. And now for the only female animatronic in the show, Helen Henny. Wait, is she actually female? I can't tell. Wait, it says on Wiki she's female? Okay, anyways. She's a white chicken with kind of a dark burgundy hair, and a yellow beak with, wait, is that what I think it is? Tomato sauce? It's not really tomato sauce. She also seems country-like with her own banjo, and a white undershirt with purple streaks. Next is one of the only original cast members that I can remember besides Chucky, Mr. Munch. Mr. Munch is a purple monster thing, with yellow hair and either yellow underbelly or yellow shirt. I can't tell. And last but certainly not least, Pasquale, our Italian friend, wears a white apron with a red neckerchief. What is a neckerchief? Anyways, Whatever. He also wears a chef's hat, holds a pizza in his left hand. Now, everything you've seen so far, what does every character, except for costume, have in common? If you guessed no legs, you'd be right. I mean, why would they make legs if you're only seeing the top part perform anyways? Okay, we've talked enough about graphics and visuals. Let's move on to gameplay mechanics. Okay, so now for the most important thing in a FNAF Fan-Game, the mechanics. So let's start with the things we use to keep animatronics at bay. First, the cameras. The cameras are pretty standard. There are 5 cameras, each one has its own location, such as Channel 1 is the play area, Channel 2 is the arcade, Channel 3 are the restrooms, Channel 4 are the dressing rooms, and Channel 5 is entrance. Each camera has their own purpose for each animatronic, that we will talk about later. Next is stage call. This nice thing is, well, I'll let Phone Guy explain it.
Also, so the technicians yesterday reported a problem with the animatronics. Don't worry, it's hardly anything. There's just been a problem where they'll try to perform when they shouldn't. I think this issue has been noted for Jasper and some other one. So in case there's ever an issue where they start moving around or they're maybe out of place, we've given you something on the desk that we like to call the stage call. Basically what this does is it resets any misbehaving character and makes them go back to their idle state. Hopefully you'll never have to use it, yeah.
Lastly, the gate. If you bring your mouse to the bottom of your monitor or laptop screen, you will turn around to face what is called the gate. Depending on the animatronics, you have to close it, but it's not like any other FNAF door. No. It stays closed only when you keep your hand on the lever, so that can be quite interesting for gameplay. Okay, so after you finish your shift, you're still not done. If you guys are like me and you listen through the whole phone call, he says at the beginning, you have to go down and restock some shelves. So what you may not know, when you head down there, there's a secret timer, and you have a limited amount of tries to fail, or else this guy will kill you. But if you manage to collect the correct items without running out of time or dying to that guy, you get to skip to 2 AM the next night. I think that is a genius way for hard work, high reward. I mean, think about it. You have a time limit and a limited amount of times to fail. You have limited vision and a long list of items to collect. If you manage to beat it, even with all this against you, you get to skip to 2 AM. Alright, now for the exciting part, animatronics mechanics. So let's start with Chucky. You will see him around the cameras slowly moving to channel 3. Eventually you will hear one of these voice lines. Happy birthday to you. When you hear this, turn around and close the gate. Once it hits the floor, count to about 2 seconds, then you can let go of the gate lever and flash, and Chucky Cheese should be gone. I really like he has a very simplistic mechanic with an easy way to get rid of him, perfect for night 1, and makes it very easy to bump up the difficulty for more advanced nights. Next, Chuck E. Cheese's creepy counterpart, Costume. He comes on night 2. He will slowly, and when I say slowly, I mean this guy would probably lose to a turtle in a race as long as you keep your cam on channel 4. Costume will spawn on channel 4, the dressing room. And you just have to watch this guy like he's the new kid in class, and he'll just sit there for a while. I mean, I did this, and he moved once on night 5, so it worked. Now to defend against them, you can't. You just have to keep him there, on channel 4. As soon as he starts moving, he'll go to channel 5, then 3, then 1, and then end at 2. Lastly, he will be where Chucky is, and prevent you from closing the gate. Next is Jasper T. Jowls. He also starts on night 2, and he's very simple. He will move along the channels till he gets into your office. Once he's there, he will shake violently and emit a buzzing sound. Whether you're on the cameras or checking out the gate, you will notice he is there. Anyways, when he is there, simply press stage call, and he will leave, and go back to his portrait. Next is Mr. Munch. On night 3, he will start attacking us by leaving his portrait, and for nights 3 and 4, he gives a voice line 100% of the time. When he is attacking. What this means is on night 5 and custom night, he will sometimes disappear and you won't know until you see him gone from his portrait. The way to defend against them is to go on your camera and flip through channels until you find him, and that's it. He will go back to his portrait. Now Helen Henny behaves similar to Jasper T. Jowls. She comes out on night 4. She will slowly move through cameras. Once she is in your room, you won't know. You have to check the very edges in your room. If you see her, immediately press stage call, and she will return to her portrait. Last but not least is Pasquale. He will start shaking violently in his portrait, and you have a short timer to press stage call, and he will return to normal. I think these animatronics that we have gone over are very cool, have really good mechanics, and really fit their difficulty for the night they are introduced in. Now that we have finished gameplay mechanics, let's move on to sound design. Now for sound design, I'm going to divide this category into 3 subsections: music, ambience, and jump scare audio. Let's start with music. The main menu theme, Taraxacum, is that how you say it? I hope so. Anyways, the song is actually a slowed version of the original theme from the original game. Hence why it sounds slow and ominous. This song, 10 out of 10. Second would be Wonder, the theme that plays after you die. I would have to say it sounds like Pickstep but sad. It's a very interesting theme, 7 out of 10. Next would be the custom night music. Again, very slow and ominous, like you'd better be ready, 10 out of 10. Lastly, we have the song that plays when you finish the game. It's like the last one, but higher pitched, 9 out of 10. Now for ambience, this ambience is very creepy, makes me hold my breath. No, not really, but it's not that bad. But good job, 8 out of 10. Okay, lastly, the jump scare sounds. I find it very good, sudden and quick and loud. Wait, hold on, there's no way we finished this section on like less than half a page. That's crazy. I mean, I guess we could talk about sound effects. I don't know. They're good, I guess. Anyways, onto the storyline. Now, when I say storyline, I am really just talking about the crap we hear on phone calls. So apparently, some girl, Sue, asked if we could take over her shift, and we agreed, for some reason. Then apparently they're renovating the Chucky location, so they hired a night guard to make sure no one vandalizes or damages the location, or especially the animatronics. Even though I think we all know it would be best if someone destroyed those guys. Then throughout the phone calls, the animatronics are apparently getting more and more finicky, and the phone guy even says they had to bolt Chucky back in place. And then in the night 4 call, the phone guy says they're going to scrap the animatronics and that we don't have to come back.
At the end of the day, everything was going fine.
Phone guy says in the phone call that they're spazzed out, that they were
out.
spazzing out and were doing things they
I'd
weren't
seen them
programmed to
glitch
do,
out before,
saying things they weren't programmed to say.
not like this.
He was going to leave the next day.
They were doing things that they weren't programmed to do. Saying things that they weren't programmed to say. We had to close early. We couldn't even keep them on stage. I really don't think you should come back. It's like they're angry about something. Is this what you had to deal with? Look, man, thanks for doing all this, but I can't deal with this anymore. I'm leaving tomorrow. If you decide to come back, for whatever reason, I won't be there. This is becoming too much for me.
So now we have a good idea on what the quote-unquote story is, so let's talk about the difficulty of each night. Nights 1 through 5 and a little bit on custom night. So I just want to quickly say, I think this game is amazing when it comes to difficulty, and you'll see why. So on night 1, we only have to deal with Chucky, and he really only attacks 1 to 3 times that night. I think this night is perfect for night 1. Easy and simple. You can grasp the concept of the gate and get a feel for the cameras. And Chucky isn't too passive, but also not too aggressive. It's this perfect balance that makes these nights so enjoyable. In night 2, we are introduced to 2 new animatronics, Costume and Jasper T. Jowls. On the last mechanic, the stage call. Again, it adds some difficulty with the new animatronics, but the nice thing is that Jasper is very simple and easy to send back to his portrait. And Costume, as I've stated multiple times, he rarely moves if you know what to do. Now on night 3, this is the night where it gets a little difficult. We are now introduced to Mr. Munch. He's a little harder, because you have to wait for his voice line, then you have to flip through your camera till you find him. Again, I think this night is amazing, balanced and possible, but a little more difficult. Now in night 4, this is where it gets serious, especially now that we have Helen Henny, who makes no sound, no voice line, and hides in the shadows. I'll be fine. Again, I think it's a good night. Now night 5, along with all the other animatronics we got, our favorite Italian friend, the one, the only, Pasquale. He is probably one of the hardest animatronics in the game, since you have a short amount of time to prepare a stage call, but he does go away quickly. I really like this night though. Now for the last night, custom night. Now have I beaten this night? No. This night, even in just 620 mode, is stupidly difficult, and it can be even more difficult with challenges. I'm pretty sure that there are only a handful of people in the world who have beaten this night with all challenges. Okay, now for the conclusion. Overall, this game is amazing. Great graphics and visuals, amazing mechanics that can make for an easy or a god mode night difficulty. The sound design really adds to the atmosphere, and the storyline, even though it's very small and can really only be portrayed in phone calls, I think was done amazingly. Overall, I would rate this game 9.5 out of 10. So as of right now, in our journey to find the best FNAF Fan-Game, this is it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Also, if you have made it this far, comment down below your favorite animatronic from this game, and a FNAF fan game you would like to see me talk about. Also, would you guys like to see a part 2, where I talk about Custom Night exclusively? Because by playing the night, there are 4 brand new animatronics introduced. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.